Wow, that's bright. Okay, we made it. We are in Great Basin National Park, and by we, I actually only mean me. Kira and I, surprise, bought a short bus. That's everything we own. Super exciting, but I'm gonna drive that back to Minnesota so we can build it out. But in the meantime, I thought we might as well stop at Great Basin National Park, and here's where we are. I don't know too much about this place. I know there's a mountain. I've read that there's caves, so tomorrow I'm gonna bring you through as much of that as possible, and you'll wanna stick around too because I'm gonna give a tour of the bus. So, welcome to Great Basin National Park. All right, good morning everybody. Found ourselves a campsite, site number 24. I did not advise this, but I just stayed in the parking lot last night. But now we found an actual camping spot. Let's check this place out. This looks like a nice area. I got a creek right down here. Yo, look at this. This is in my campsite. This site is beautiful. You can hear the creeks going, or the river. And it's definitely meant for tent camping. So hopefully it's not like too busy. I don't want to take it away from a tenter, but if I can just hang out here all night. The river is just causing my voice to be completely drowned out, so nobody could hear you. So site number 24, Upper Lehman Campground. If you are tenting, especially with a loud group, I would go here. This is a great spot. On the visitor center, like half-mile down the road, and I think there's a cafe. So I'm gonna go check that out. I would love some eggs, bacon, and coffee. Let's see about that. We just booked a cave tour. It's in the Lehman Caves. Lodge room tour is $12. Pretty stoked about it. One other cave I've been in is Carlsbad Caverns. And this is like an hour guided tour. So, yeah, we're gonna get rolling on that. Can't bring anything in there other than clothing, so. That's easy. But it's gonna be 52 degrees, so I'm gonna maybe wear a light jacket.
After establishing his ranch, a man from Ohio named Absalom Lehman is thought to be the first one to discover these caves in 1885. From there, the obvious answer was to start leading tours throughout the cave. And as this popularity grew, President Harding eventually established Lehman Caves National Monument in 1922, and then 60 years of conservationists pushing to expand the area eventually led to the establishment of Great Basin National Park in 1986 by President Ronald Reagan to expand the protected land. For more history on the park and how to book a tour, head down to the description for more information.
It's a basin national park. Why is it a 13,000-foot mountain? You know, I don't know. Sometimes Congress, you do some weird things. But take a look right there. Sometime long ago,
Oh, that was fascinating. Lehman Caves, we did the lodge room tour. $12, definitely worth it. The biggest rule was, one, you can't wear any clothing that has been in a cave for the previous decade, for the bat population, I believe. And number two, you can't touch anything on the walls. It wasn't too tight of a cave, but it got a little cramped. So if you're like claustrophobic, you can decide from there. But we learned all about stalagmites, stalactites, which is basically just calcium deposits either dripping down or rising up. Consistently 52 degrees in there year round. There's a bat population that's coming back. Fascinating. Highly recommend it. Now we're gonna go up to Wheeler Peak, and it's about 13,000 feet, but I'm in a bus that's 20 feet long, and they prohibit anything past 24 feet long. So we're gonna do our best. Hopefully it's not like too crazy, but I'm gonna take the scenic drive up to Wheeler Peak right now and see what that's all about. Okay, so I'm at the Wheeler Peak parking area. Beautiful drive up. The bus did very well, 8% grade for about 12 miles. Down is the trick, so we'll see about that. However, we got 3 options for hiking. Bristle Cone Trail, Alpine Lakes Loop Trail or Summit Wheeler Peak. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time today to summit Wheeler Peak. It's about 8.5 miles. It takes anywhere from 4 to 10 hours, which I don't have today. So I'm gonna start with the Alpine Lakes Loop Trail, which is about 2.5 miles, and then hopefully have enough time for that Bristle Cone Trail, which is another 2.5 miles. Well, we've got snow here. Oh, it's cold. I thought it'd be colder, honestly.
With only 150,000 annual visitors, this is an excellent place to hike and explore caves without the crowds. One thing to note though is that it is in the middle of nowhere. The closest grocery store is over an hour away, and the route to get there is on the loneliest highway in America, Highway 50.
Yeah, I gotta get in this thing. I'm really caked in sweat from yesterday, and we gotta earn our views here.
If I were to give 3 recommendations to someone traveling here, I would tell them to 1, come during the summer, 2, camp inside the park, and 3, make sure to book a cave tour. If you'd like any extra travel tips, I've put a bunch in the description below.
I felt so good. Honestly, I thought it'd be a little colder. That's straight glacier water though. This is crazy. I was not expecting this, but this tree is 3,000 plus years old. This is the Bristle cone pine, and it's tons of them up here, but it's the oldest known living thing. Some of them up here are like 6,000 years old. They live in high altitudes, super dry conditions, and they are incredibly dense because they only girth 1 inch every 100 years. So this tree right here is 3,000 years old. And bristlecone pines are the oldest known living thing. And there's tons of them up here in Great Basin in California. And as far as I know, that's the only regions that they're available in. Wild, I was not expecting that. Alrighty, I just had dinner at Sugar, Salt, and Malt. It's basically the only restaurant in Baker, which is the only town within like 60 miles, so you can't miss it. Hit it up. Very clean, very good food, good drinks, all around incredible. But now, I will give you a quick tour of what we have on the bus so far. Subject to change, of course. We're doing a build out all summer. But here's what we got so far. First things first, Shay is her name. She is a 2002 Chevy Express 3500 with the stop sign. I'll show you that in a second. And she's got an absolute tank under the hood. Gasoline engine, 3500. Here's Wilbert. He's our friend Maddie and Marcelo gave it to us. That's our control panel. Let's check that out. We've got the cool doors. We've got, let's see if it works here. All right, check this out. Oh, huh? Pretty cool. On this first maiden voyage, she's gotten us roughly 10 miles, maybe 11 miles to the gallon. We're gonna do a whole paint job on this thing. If we go in the cool doors, we see literally everything Kira and I own. This is not gonna be the setup that we have. This is us moving across the country and trying to figure it out. We're gonna put a deck on the roof. Super excited. Right now we just got burlap on the sides. But otherwise,
I'm driving this bus back to Minnesota, but before we build it out, I am hopping on a tiny plane and flying across Lake Superior to backpack in one of the most remote national parks. Oh, and I won't be going alone. I'm taking the man who gave me the passion for camping in the first place. My dad and I will see you in Isle Royale National Park in 2 weeks.